Do me a favor, put us live and then just put me on.
We're live. We're live.
I love it. I love it.
It's just me being mean for.
I love that. Special guest tonight, ladies and gents.
Rizzy, Roy. How's everybody doing tonight? How's everybody doing?
I don't know if this is gonna work or not, but
I'm happy to hear that.
Your background's coming together real well. That's
put it in the hole. I can't find the hole.
Oh,
A little up, there you go.
Out of it. Just put it up
There
the
you
nostril hole.
there you go.
Nice.
Happy belated birthday, Jason.
Jason had a rough day killing today.
Yeah, you got to get your smokes in.
I mean, Jason got to take a little break today, to be honest.
Ooh.
I'm just saying, just throwing something out there, just throwing something out there. But yeah, we're here for another episode. Shout out to Taylor Swift, hashtag Tay-Tay.
Tay-Tay.
Right.
Part 5, False Gods.
Do you know why I named it that?
The Dream Child versus, yes I do, versus Friday the 13th, A New Beginning. And it has something to do with Taylor Swift, I'm assuming. She either said it or.
Well, that was the challenge. That's a song.
Got you. And then as far as part 5, well, in part 5 there is no Jason.
Nope.
Besides the dream sequences.
And this is the first time on screen.
Very first time.
Somebody else portrayed.
Played. Freddy. Yes. Besides Robert.
That's why I called it False Gods.
Nice. False Gods. And we called
each episode. I want to ask you guys why you think I picked it.
Ooh, I like it. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. Anyway. Shit.
What are we talking about tonight?
What
are we doing?
We're talking about A Nightmare on Elm Street 5.
Side effects may include forgetting what the topic of your podcast is and falling asleep during it.
No. Never that. I'm showing you too many things at once.
Wait, who asked what we're talking about? Was it the host? Was it Sturdy who asked?
No, it wasn't Sturdy.
No, it was me.
I was making your background, so I wasn't looking at who was talking.
It wasn't Sturdy. I just need to send me something, so I'm looking for it.
Why are you covering up that head, Chris?
That's right.
Because I'm the worst damn gamer ever. I gotta switch it up a little bit. We're the Bald Twins.
Oh yeah.
We're the Twin Dicks.
There you go.
Whoa, people, no. No.
That's what I look at them when I go in.
All crazy-eyed.
Hey, I will say that both of you guys wear this bald head quite well.
And they did it for this right here, this beautiful, amazing charity over on Cast, had a script read over on Casters for a Cause this Friday, but it was all for lunch and lunch for all. Help these children eat their school lunch. Help these children get school lunch. They should not have to pay for lunch. I think that's fucking stupid and fucking ridiculous. Yeah. America, get your fucking shit together when it comes to the children. No you want this to be a better place, but yet you don't want to help mold the young minds and nourish their bodies and minds.
They don't want that to be a better place. They just want to make money.
Well, help people. Stop making things so fucking ridiculously expensive because you're so fucking greedy.
It's not just Wu-Tang, but lunches for the children too.
Yes, Wu-Tang and lunch. Matter of fact, Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with. Play that while you're giving the children lunch.
Right.
Beautiful. Oh, yeah. Maybe edit it. Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to mess with. He's running around saying Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with. That's all they know about the whole song.
It's like, all right, little Billy,
you're not wrong. They didn't even learn it from Wu-Tang. They learned it from the Dave Chappelle show when they had that one skit.
Oh, yeah.
It's those moments of parenting where you got to correct them, but at the same time, it's like, listen, you're not wrong, but we can't say that to people, especially if we're out in public, okay?
See, what's funny about that, though, Chris, is like when I see my cousin like disciplining his son, just yelling at him or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yep.
I have to leave the room because I'll start laughing. I cannot help it. Or I'll start smiling. And what it is because it's someone you grew up with that has kids, especially like when he's 16 now. So when he was a lot younger, it was funny because I'm just like, oh my God. I'm like, yo, we were just doing this like 5 years ago. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just getting yelled at for doing dumb shit like 5-6 years ago. And now you're yelling at your kids for.
I don't know who else is a parent here, with you guys, but I can just say for me, when my kids do something, anything really, and it's just like a quick fuck up, not laughing is the hardest test you'll ever go through. Because it's like you gotta discipline it, but at the same time, it's like that shit was funny though. Like especially when it comes to like burns, you know? Like they'll say some shit and you're like, yeah. Oh fuck. That was good. That was a good one. And especially if they say it against you and you're like, oh, that burn was too good. Like, and you're in your own head, you're like, the burn was too good. I don't know what to do. Abort, abort, abort. Let's get the fuck out.
Go to your fucking room. Like, damn, man. What's even that?
That shit ain't funny.
I love those skits or those TikToks where it's like the father's like, honey, I got this. Slam the door. All right, little man. In 3 minutes, I need you. Just let me get through this. I need you to like cry and look disappointed. But you know what, dude?
Been there.
That was great. And then he opens the door when he's done. And the next time you do that, closes the door again. Dude, you got to tell me where you get this material from because I need to use this.
I've done that. I've asked my 11-year-old like what certain jokes were because I was like, that's gonna land on the show.
That's awesome.
I'm like, these kids know better shit than I do.
Oh man.
Yep. Look at that.
Nick, can you tell me? Is there a way I can use this template? Because I might just start switching the posters out.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is dope because it's just simple and everybody's. I remember having this fucking wall pin like growing up. Like who hasn't had that shit?
I have put together an idea for you, and I have put it together. So I like the shelving system, but I'm gonna put VHS tapes in there and do a background for you. That's looks like a horror section.
Nice.
I love it. I fucking love it.
Nice.
So. Make sure you have Blood Lake on the shelf because I hate that movie, but it just needs to be.
I'm gonna have Blood Lake and 2 Girls, 1 Cup. That's the only two that's gonna be left on the fucking thing.
You had to do it. You had to do it.
That's fine.
I was bringing it up before he did.
I wasn't even gonna bring it up this time.
Bullshit. Bullshit. It's on every episode.
That's besides the point. I wasn't gonna bring it up at that point. Was it gonna come up? Of course, just not right then.
Well, now I feel like we won't have a good episode if we don't bring it up.
We brought it up a couple times already. So anyway,
we know.
2 Girls, 1 Cup. It's a 1 of 1. If you haven't seen it, I'm sure you can still find it on the internet. Trying to get people. No, I'm not. So, guys, let's start with the Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5.
Oh boy. Well, it's working. We're talking about kids, right?
Oh boy, the fives.
The fives are tough.
Oh, sorry about that.
Oh, look at you.
The fives.
Yeah, the fives in both these series.
No, just Nightmare for now.
Yeah, I mean, I was just saying, it's like it's interesting
okay.
how both series, their part fives are, you know, so one's kind of decisive or not decisive. What's the word? There's kind of a split within the audience. There has been for years since the movie came out. And part 5, I like part 5, The Dream Child, a lot more, I think, than a lot of other people do, but it's still not one of my favorites. I think there was a lot of it got rushed was the first problem because Nightmare 4 was so successful. It was one of those deals where the studio was like, hurry the fuck up and make another one quick. And I think there was several versions of the scripts. The MPA slaughtered this movie. A bunch of scenes got cut out, all the death scenes.
They always do that bullshit, man.
You know, I see, because another thing is I see the gripes that a lot of people make because the kill count was so low. I'm sure it was the lowest in the series. I believe there was only three deaths in the whole movie. And again, they all got cut. There was one that was actually still really good, even though it got cut down a lot. But part 5, the concept on paper, it was a really cool idea. In that Freddy is invading the dreams of an unborn baby. And unborn babies dream, 90, 95%, 98% of the time. So, oh my God, what would you do?
I think he said it was 70%.
70%? Oh, I was way off. Fuck. I never had a baby before, so I don't know the details. But so it's a cool idea. It was great seeing Alice back. That lady ages like a fine wine. I've always wanted to meet her and Tuesday Night someday. They're my heroes. What else? What else? You caught me off guard. I thought we were going to start talking about some crazy shit again the first 20 minutes like we did last time. So it's like, oh, we're going right into the movie this time? Oh, shit. But The Dream Child had its moments. I do like the visuals. You know, they went a little too campy with the fourth one, and then they tried to go back to dark. You know, I like the visuals and like the gothic, the kind of the dark tone. I always like it when they go back to Freddy's backstory in regards to Amanda Kruger. I always like seeing stuff like that. We got a little more of that in this one. And in the beginning, we got to see Robert Englund play one of his daddies at the beginning of the movie, which bumped the microphone, which was cool. And in fact, I think the whole first act of the movie is good. It's kind of the last act where it falls apart, even though there are still some cool visuals, like the staircase scenes at the end during the final battle with Alice. Jacob, was that the kid's name? I'm sorry. Yeah, Jacob and Freddy. There's that scene with the stairs. It reminded me a little bit of Labyrinth with David Bowie. With the cool visuals, and there's that part where Freddy's walking up the hallway, because even the asylum itself looked a little bit like a dungeon, you know. And there's this cool visual of Freddy walking up the hallway with the lamps are swinging back and forth. He's coming towards the camera, and he disappears, comes back, disappears, comes back. I always thought that looked cool. Bad things, the makeup. What happened? The makeup in 5 and 6, I think they cleaned up a little too much during this kind of downslide, this down portion of the sequels. I mean, even his red and green sweater, it looked like he just picked it up from the dry cleaners. I mean, he was just way too clean in this one. And but they did take a more serious tone, because I think I talked about this when we were on the threes a while back, how there was this back and forth with Freddy, how they went a little too campy with part 4. So in part 5, they decided to go back to a little darker. Then part 6, they went back again with the campy. So I think maybe there was a little bit of Uncle Freddy had an identity crisis a little while there. But for me, it's pros and cons. I don't hate this movie as much as I think a lot of other people do.
And with this one, like I mentioned it because I was watching, excuse me, I was watching it earlier with Mick and Chris, and I was like, I don't remember this one. And even watching it all the way through, I still did not remember this one. I know because I watched through this series a handful of times, and then it would just get to the point where I think I would just watch just the first 3, maybe.
Yeah, that's
for the most part. But yeah, this one I don't remember, and it's for a good fucking reason, because it's pretty bad.
Yeah, the characters weren't that great, and and again that there was only 3 deaths. The kill count was the lowest of probably both every Freddy and Jason movie. I think the kill count was the lowest. So I get the gripe, and I feel like they might have been cooler had we seen
some of those kills,
seen everything.
The kill count doesn't really bother me too much because it's a Freddy movie, but at the same time, this didn't really feel like a Freddy movie to me. But they're just doing, I don't know, I think they were doing too much. I think they just ran out of fucking ideas, and they were just like, well, it's Freddy and we can go in any direction with this, so let's just try this. And I wish they didn't.
Yeah, I think they started with that cool concept with the unborn baby, and then after that, they kind of, I felt like they didn't know what to do after that, or where to go with the story. I just feel like everything got rushed.
Yes, it was like they took on too much, and then just like again, they had all these ideas. They're like, okay, this could work. But then it was like they were crunched for time at some point. They're like, oh fuck, we have all these ideas written in, blah 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 blah. We have to do this shit, and we're here right now, so let's just fucking throw it together and put it out. And I'm ready to rate this bullshit. And I have a rating written down right now, but I'm already changed it. I'm even gonna go first instead of making you guys go first. I'm giving this shit a 1.
Ooh.
The thing I liked about it was the black and when Freddy was wearing the black and white shit, but I really didn't like this movie at all. I'm giving this shit a 1.
1. That's tough. I'm going to go. I'm going to give it a little bit more love and go 4, just because I do love Freddy so much.
I'll go in the middle and go 5.
Okay.
What was that look for?
Wow. All right. I told these guys earlier when I was watching it. Growing up, this is one of the first ones that I watched and one of the ones I watched the most frequently. The beginning opening scene with the blue color and the sound and the script, the writing of the chalk. So I'll get into all the reasons, which our guy over here from the video store Clerks just gave a ton of them. So I have some enhancements to help because I know you guys are about to rip it apart. Mr. Sturdy and fucking Mick over here. So I'm giving this one a 6.5.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Fine. I'm gonna rip it apart. No, I gave Dream Master a 3.
Oh, ouch.
And this one is abysmally worse. The only thing I will say that this one had going for it was the effects in it. I think this is one of the ones in that weird sequel realm that's outside of like anything Wes Craven did. Let's just say that. I think this has the better practical effects.
Okay.
Out of all of those, there's some cool ones coming up and stuff like that. So I'm not taking anything away from anybody, but especially out of 4 and 5, this has the better looking effects, in my opinion. I feel like a lot of money went there, but not a lot of money went into writing or planning or acting or directing or I mean, you got Freddy, which is awesome, but weirdly enough, I'm gonna put this at a 3 too. They both just are. I'm glad this one exists, if that makes sense. But it just isn't. Like, I could watch Freddy's Dead all day long because it sucks, but they knew it was going to suck. They knew that's why it's as campy as it is. At no point was Roseanne Barr and Tom Arnold such an influence in the world that is who you got, and you were like, yes, that's our first choice. That wasn't it. So like they knew what they had, and they even knew they had to put celebrities in it even of what they could get to boost it, because they just wanted to finish it off, which of course they didn't. But even I can respect that for knowing it was going to be bad and and still having good effects, having a lot of elements to it that was really good. These two movies were just cash grabs, in my opinion. So was Freddy's Dead, because they like knew it, because of the way they shot it, the way it was, even the kills are like ridiculous. It was just like, for me, it was like these two, even though I love Lisa Wilcox's performances in them, and I will not put her down at all, the stories just were terrible, and they were poorly executed, in my opinion. Freddy deserved better.
I agree.
He deserved better for 6 too, which I'll get to in the next episode too. But
was good, Wise. Was good.
Hey,
now, Chris, what did you say you gave this? I'm sorry, I missed your rating.
I'm gonna sit at a 6.5 right now. By the end of this, it may go up, it may go down, but I think that's pretty much where I'm gonna end up being.
Okay.
I think this is one of the ones that I'm probably gonna end up giving on the lower side.
Nice.
May I elaborate on a few things?
Yeah, please. I'd love to hear it.
All right. So the opening scene, something that is ingrained in my mind growing up as a child, are big ass long windows to the apartment that we lived in, the curtains that my mom used at night, to me as a child, reminded me of the stained glass.
I'll be right back, guys.
The iconic weird baby thing and the birth thing and that whole notion of him being reborn. I thought was super cool. I thought the morph of the body, him coming back into the glove, the thing being destructive, and him coming back deformed, but still being like, it's a boy, and having to regenerate and kind of accumulate souls again, even though the ones that he had still haven't, which is why he still has some power. Going forward, the way they've shot a bunch of scenes, yes, his look is different, and I make the joke all the time. This is pepperoni pizza Freddy, because his face looks like a fucking pizza pie. You know, it's got little divots missing in it and pepperoni slices all over it. Again, they tried to humanize him a little bit, make him softer for the audiences. They use more lighting on him. But even with that, they have a lot of darkness to this. The scene with the boyfriend or husband, Dan, his kill turning into a part of the machinery and the bike, fucking dope. That aspect of the loop again that they bring back, and for him, because in the last one, when they're at the diner, they come back in the loop. We gotta go. We gotta get to so-and-so's house. We gotta go. They kind of did that again with the truck situation. I love similar nods, looping it back to my mind that they throw to this in the later films and in the New Nightmare, which I can't wait till we get to that episode, because something replays a role in that from this image and the scene that I'm talking about now. The scenes and how they did certain things, because in the past Freddy movies, whenever there was a notion of him sensing something and something occurring, like when they were digging up getting his body out of the junkyard and getting ready to dig it in, he feels it and he kind of looks, and it's just kind of like, well, what is he looking at? And then he disappears and he goes to do whatever. This one, when he does that, they film it in a way with certain close-ups or certain angles of things where now it's like you're part of what he's going on with, what happening to him in that world, with the angles of him walking down the hallway and glitching towards with the darkness blinks and stuff like that, which also gets recreated in the remake with Jackie Earle Haley. There's so many things that are great about this that if they weren't that great, they wouldn't have reused or revisited or had a throwback to. Now, as far as the story goes, yes, it has holes. Yes, there are certain things. Like, my biggest gripe always about this, and you brought up a great point about it, Mick, in the conversation we're having privately in the chat. I never picked up on the notion of the birth and right of birth, or the discussion of choice in having a birth. Some parents face different conflicts in choosing whether or not they're going to have a baby. And then this plays a little bit of a role of that. But the fallacies come in where, how is he coming back? Because now she's pregnant, because Freddy's always been after the last children of Elm Street to get back at the parents. So first of all, she wasn't never a child of Elm Street. So why now is he able to, through her baby, come back? If he's already dead, wouldn't he have already been able to return just through her period because of her relation and the souls being hidden from the last ones? So they kind of fucked that up a little bit to me.
No, he wanted her because she's the Dream Master.
I know, but that's not how it worked, right? He basically, his goal was to go after the children of Elm Street, people who did the thing to him. So technically, Freddy, after the last one, since all of those kids are dead and now he's dead, should have technically remained dead, because there's no purpose for his lost soul to be reaping the thing. He's got his retribution, his vengeance.
Yeah.
So in my eye, that's where they kind of fucked up that whole ploy or whatnot. The situations with her and her friends now and other people getting looped into it and growing and going and going and going. It's like, all right, you're just again, it gives you the vibe of the cast grab, yes. And I get why they did it. I'm not mad that they kept the character going, because he's so iconic and I love Freddy to death. And we're coming up on the tail end here, which we're going to have more complaints about things, which is why now my score got a little bit lower. But by the end of this, the scene of him feeding the chick with things like obesity and bulimia with her, you know, those are social aspects and things that kids were facing at that time as well, that they're touching on, that are psychological, and Freddy's a psychological nature villain. So I love still how they group a lot of that stuff in. And again, it always plays homage to the way fuck's his name, Wes Craven writes his story and evolves this character, and the writing helps. Despite its flaws, this is why it's a love-hate relationship. And right now we're going towards a part of my relationship with Freddy where it's rocky, but I'm willing to fight for my motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like, that's my guy. That's my guy.
I get it. I'm just
Put
gonna
them up. Put them
before
up.
we get into discussion more. Just want to hop to the comments. Facebook user, not sure who you are, but after going back and forth and watching all these, the only ones worth the shit are New Nightmare and Freddy vs. Jason. Now, are you talking about our Nightmare on Elm Street or both franchises?
The OG, the New Nightmare, and Freddy versus Jake, man. Okay. What's happening, sir? What's happening?
Worth the shit. I
Yes, worth the
misunderstood that. Worth the
worth the
shit.
shit.
I thought.
How's it going? How's it
I
going?
misunderstood. I'm sorry.
Which arguably, yes, we can add in one or two. Like I would add Dream Warriors into that.
Into what?
That he said the ones that are like the most worth the shit is the first one.
To watch.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said is shit. Sorry.
No.
I misunderstood that too.
Right.
We were like, whoa.
I'll come back to this comment. I'll go back to this one because this is what we're discussing. So I'll bring this one back up because we're discussing it. Let's talk about it now. Let's not go past part 5 though, just because we're not there yet. Yeah, but from 1 through 5, how many of those movies are worth the shit?
We're just
1, 3, 4, and for me, those are the best of the ones we've watched so far.
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
1, 3 are the best ones. Yeah. 2 I really like because what they were trying to do, and it's just different, and I like the odd duck. And there's still some quality behind it, although it has its problems. Don't get me wrong.
Of course.
But yeah, no, that would be my. I don't care about 4 or 5 or 6.
They can't all be diamonds.
Yeah. But this one is the most one where you start to realize they're kind of sticking to a formula too, with the amount of people, the types of characters, and the pacing of the kills. So it's at this point it's becoming more of a routine and a repetition, which can become monotonous to a moviegoer who's looking for something new and exciting. Yes, we get different style kills and we get new animations and new animatronics, but it's very formulaic. And just like with Marvel at this point, and that's an extreme of it because we got 40 movies or whatnot from the Marvel world or whatnot. That's why people bring up the formula, because although they're still great movies, it still can't be ignored that it's a formula. There's still certain bullet points they always hit.
I mean, of course, there's tropes, conventions, and everything, but it's just this. The problem with horror, and I mean, we could always have that as a conversation, but the problem with horror is like if it's not evolving, it's never going to stay. It can't sustain itself the way it is.
No,
you have to, like, people are bitch and moan about there's so many there's so many found footage films this time around, or there's so many remakes. And you have to like right now. It's if you don't evolve into something, even if it's shit, like 2006 through 2012, like horror movies were basically, not saying nothing good came out, but like we're basically shit and mostly reboots. But could you imagine nothing was coming out at that time? What would be the horror genre? So you gotta do what you can and let the indie world sort of dictate what the next big thing is going to be.
Interesting.
Yeah, that is very interesting, actually.
That's opens the door for a lot of indie film. It's in horror in particular. I mean, Art to Clown. That's how we got Art to Clown.
True.
And that's a good time for them to step up. But we keep getting, because everyone wants to do the MCU thing, Conjuring and The Nun and all this. Everyone has to make a fucking franchise. Not everything has to be a fucking franchise.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that, but at the same time, I'm one of those horror fans that I'm like, if the movie's, if I feel it's worthy of a sequel and the way it ends or just something that happens in it, I'm like, okay, are we getting a sequel? Are we fucking getting a sequel? Are we getting a prequel? Are we getting, because I'm getting so, but at the same time, it's like you're getting so used to it too. Like, okay, are we getting it? And then there's the other side of it, like you're saying, where they're doing it too much, where it's like, oh shit, are we getting a sequel? Oh shit, we're getting a prequel, a sequel.
No. Saw.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, at least Saw reels it back in. At least Saw reels it back in with some of these later movies with Spiral and this new one or whatnot. You know what I mean? They bring it back. They bring it back.
Well, you have to remember too, like the Saw is coming back out, but like you shouldn't kill a franchise if it's still making money. I mean, the Roger Corman way of thinking, like it is so nice as film fans and filmmakers, especially in the indie world, to say, listen, let's just kill it. But the fact of the matter is, like, it's a business. first and foremost. It's
At
not
the
an
end of the
art
day.
form before it's a business. Like,
Yeah.
and no art form is a business unless you're willing to
Yeah.
make compromises, things like that, because it is what it is. We all do it. This is all, and we create our business is creating. So when I watch filmmakers and like, yo, MCU should die. Well, yeah, okay. If the MCU died right now,
Yeah,
was
no.
completely taken
No.
away, or any
No.
hold on, any superhero movie, you wouldn't have the movie theaters back. Tom
No.
Cruise isn't going to do it by himself.
Very freaking true.
So if like you want to have,
Very.
and not just you guys, I'm talking about anybody in general, and I don't mean to pontificate, but like
No.
I do hear a lot from all walks of life, everybody, and I'm mostly in the indie world, but it's like, yeah, fuck those big movies, fuck those big. It's like, yeah, but you'd be making movies for no one, because these big movies generate the income to run the streaming sites and allow for those big companies like Roku or Apple TV to still kick on and still be able to do things because they need that content. Sometimes
My
you just do
man.
shit, you know,
Yeah.
it sucks and we can hate it.
But to rebuttal, there's always another option too. They can kill a franchise and then hire writers to change that, use the same premise of those franchises, reinvent it under different entities and new characters, make it new, more interesting. For example, they take the whole premise of Chucky, and then what they did for the remake, that Chucky was like a AI bot in a toy that would go worldwide like Skynet and be able to take things over. They turned that into a Megan. Somebody was like, oh, I can do this as like a female doll that's a companion doll that helps out and all this stuff that then overly protects. You know what I mean? That was interesting to me. That was something that was different, but it's still Chucky.
Well, yeah, but it's not. It is, but it's not at the same time,
right?
Because they took that same element, but that is a subgenre that has existed for a very long time in sci-fi and in horror. And the remake of Chucky really did nothing or blew it out of the water in any way, or we would have had a whole new franchise. The good thing about the Chucky franchise is they know how to adapt.
Yeah,
they know how to get out there and really evolve with each changing genre, unlike the Halloweens, who are waiting for like slashers to come back around. Unlike, well, I think Friday the 13th was really good at adapting too.
Yeah,
better than Freddy was, but the Freddy franchise was good at it as well. You know, you got 4 and 5, but then you got 6, which they were like, let's just be fucking campy. And then you got 7, which is like, let's go back to dark and bring Wes Craven back. You know, so I'd say Friday the 13th did it better. You know,
I agree.
Absolutely. Yeah,
you know, but
that's what this journey is teaching me right now.
I'm glad you're learning this, Chris. I tried to tell you.
It still does not make him the better character. It still does not make the story of Friday the 13th better than the entity, the thought of the story of Freddy, and I will fight that till I'm blue in the face.
That's fine. You're turning blue.
It's just a better made movie that's more consistent throughout the time of its existence. We're talking filmmaking versus character and its development, and that's it. Just the filmmaking aspect's better. Freddy will always win. Freddy will always be my nightmare.
No, listen, man, I get it, but like at the same time, you got to remember too, like Freddy, of course, is a much interesting character than basically Frankenstein in a hockey mask. Like,
True.
But
True.
Jason sustained longer.
True.
He's cooler. He just kills kids.
He just kills. He just goes and goes and goes.
That's true. He just kills them. Freddy goes elsewhere at certain points.
Yeah.
But, I wanted to ask you really quick, just before this conversation continues, everyone else's ratings. What is your rating for Nightmare? Just for Nightmare 5, for now.
On a scale of 1 to 5 or 1 to 10 or whatever. How do you do it?
10.
1 to 10.
Well,
You got to count 0 though.
The normal way, 0 to 10.
Oh, yeah.
0 to 10.
2.
2.
Garbage. Like that was me that was commenting a minute ago. So I'll just jump on it real quick. Because I don't have much time on here real quick before our podcast later, but I had to jump on here real quick and spill my shit on this. Me and Freddy have a love-hate relationship. I guess as I've gotten older, I kind of hate him. I kind of hate what he stands for. He's a great villain, but I don't know. As I've gotten older and watching it, I don't know. I've fallen out of love with Freddy. I'm like, God, he's such a piece of shit. Like, I mean, I know a villain is supposed to be a piece of shit. I get it, but I don't know. you can't beat the original. And 2 is interesting. 3 is fun. 4, it had that really cool song in it. 5, garbage. 6, complete garbage. You know, Wes Craven's New Nightmare, I thought it was great, even though it's not really Freddy, but it's the entity of, you know, the idea of Freddy coming to life. That was cool. Freddy versus Jason, I dig. But I was also born on Friday the 13th, so maybe I'm biased, but like, I don't know. I'll take Jason Voorhees over fucking Freddy Krueger any fucking day.
I'm with
Don't
you.
fall asleep early tonight, Chuck.
Oh,
I'm
man.
gonna get you.
Freddy doesn't come to my dreams.
I love it.
But yeah, no, I don't know. I have a buddy of mine who used to be a huge Freddy fan, and he kind of like explained to me why he didn't like Freddy anymore, and I was like, oh, okay, makes sense. And then going back and rewatching some of them, like some of the older ones, I'm like, oh, it's like, it's also weird. Like 2, I used to fucking despise, and then as I've gotten old, and I used to love Freddy's Dead, and then Freddy's Dead, I watched it and I was like, I like 2 better. It's like, okay, 2, yeah, okay, 2 goes against certain things, but the thing is, it was only the second movie, so they could play with it. Yeah, okay, there were some things in the movie that as a kid I was like, I don't understand why the guy's in the shower and there's leather, you know, things like that. But it was, you know, whatever. It was an interesting take on you know, on Freddy, and people didn't give it. I mean, it's got one of the creepiest openings of all of them.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. 4 and 5 have always been the ones that everybody's kind of either love or hates. I think I fucking hate them for the most part. Like I said, 4 gets kind of a win because it has that like that punk rock song in it. The dude's doing the fucking kickboxing shit too. I love that song. Give me diamonds, give me pills. Yeah.
Give you anything you want. $100
bills. I'm gonna cover that one
let
day.
you watch the shows you want to see. I'll give you anything.
Yes.
See?
Sorry.
There's a video
They've got it.
you guys right there.
Oh yeah.
Love that song.
But
It's a
yeah,
good one. It's a good one, you know.
This movie was almost, it was one of those movies where it was just like, honestly, like a movie I watched earlier today, before this episode, before mixed episode, I should say. I couldn't wait for it to be over. I was like, even though Freddy's in it, it's cool. That's the best part of it. But I was like, I can't wait for this shit to be over. It doesn't feel like a Freddy movie, like I was saying earlier. And I like the black and white of Freddy. That was dope. I thought that was dope. But other than that, I really didn't care. I just really didn't freaking care for this movie. I really didn't. And I'm just like, fuck, because I was hoping to be excited. I was hoping to at least half enjoy it, like part 4. Because I've been looking at my rating, I gave it a 5. But not even that. Like, I just couldn't really get into it and just enjoy a Nightmare on Elm Street. So at least now I know, but again, because I don't remember the rest, and we're just talking about the first 5 right now, or part 5 right now. But at least now I know with Nightmare on Elm Street, we'll see what happens with the rest. But from 1 through 4, I can watch and be fine with, but I may just stick with 1 through 3. As of right now, I'm just sticking with 1 through 3, and the rest can just 4 and 5. I can definitely live without. You know what I mean?
See, I've
get
always
it.
been
I can agree
more of
with
a
that.
Freddy guy, but I mean, just the really good ones to me are just make it so much better. Like I said, just I guess it's his personality and his sense of humor. It just gets me because I'm a real dark-minded person. But I don't know, like they definitely fall off towards the end until New Nightmare comes around. Like the Friday the 13th just seemed to get better after this one, in my opinion.
I agree.
Yeah,
I mean, you bring in Kane Hodder and everything just changes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
CJ Graham was good though.
CJ Graham.
No, I think so too. But
so
Kane definitely steals the show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, hard to argue that. Yeah.
Weslow, our Freddy, he points out that this one felt rushed, so it did feel more like a cash grab, and you definitely get a sense of that and a feel of that with how fast the kills are. And we talked about that with the last one, and that was the problem with the last one and how quick the kills are. But to contrast that, once we get into the Friday, there's some problems there too that I want to talk about those kills and about timing and like kind of pacing or whatnot.
You're wrong. They're great
No, I'm
and
not.
amazing, and there's nothing.
They are unique and interesting for some of them, but it needed a little more sazon. Anyway, but with this, by the end of it, like I love the comic book kill, even though it happened really fast. You know, the motorcycle kill.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's because the notion of Freddy being able to use your dreams where you're supposed to be the safest and have the most power against you, and then you realize that you just have no power at all. And the second you realize that's too late, you're dead, and then you're not waking up. It's just fucking awesome. And again, the corridor scenes, the whole aspect of the church situation, and then we get those scenes again with the cool shots at the end as he's coming out of Amanda's belly and the doors are slamming and breaking, slamming and breaking, slamming and breaking, and his hands just fighting, trying to kill his mother again. There's so many cool elements and so many cool things that they do with the camera to emphasize that notion of fear and inescapability. That's why forever Freddy will be the nightmare of my nightmares.
Yeah, and like I said, it's just the overall premise that it's the unborn baby that's having the dreams. So now the characters have no control. Alice has no control. She walks in and out of the dream world.
I just think in this one they should have had her retain people's powers.
And they kind of forgot about that. Yeah.
None of her friends that she had this time had any powers, I guess. I don't know. But they definitely should have kept that element in this one.
But again, I think the fact that it was so rushed is what really did it in. Like, I think they started with a cool concept, and then the studio was like, y'all need to hurry the fuck up. This is due out in 3 months.
You know what else I think kind of hurt it too is, besides the rushing and all that, is like you guys were just saying, which made me remind of, we were talking about it last episode, was how it seemed like they forgot a lot of things from the previous movie that they could have tied in or pulled into this movie that would have helped. And of course, with part 4, they did it with part 3. So this one could have went back 2 movies, but still pulled some things from part 4. And I think it would have helped a lot. And they just kind of ignored it. Like, yes, they brought the chick, with all the powers and all that shit. But like you guys are saying, where the fuck are the powers at? Like, what the hell? All she could do is figure out when someone's gonna die and not do shit. Like,
she can do puzzles.
What is that?
I think the notion of that was like growth and ascension and the release, because like if you think of becoming stoic or whatnot, you have to hit a point in your mind where you can control the certain things and you harness them still, but you only exercise them when needed. But I think because she was in a vulnerable state due to the pregnancy, she wasn't using all of that, because now that energy's put towards her making the baby, which she didn't have, and now she has to protect the baby using her notion of, and make sure, since the baby's the one he's using as the gateway, she has to now be kind of the anti-gateway and fight that. And she's never even met this kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit that goes into that.
Actually, I caught that too. Like, not just on this watch, but like, it always seemed to me like she doesn't have the powers in this one. A, because it's poorly written, but B, because honestly, like, you probably putting all of your power into protecting your child, and that, which she was pretty adamant about. And so I could see her not having that, putting all that strength into, all these issues and just making sure the baby's protected.
Yeah, but it didn't help, man. They could have. This movie was written bad. I don't know who wrote it. I forgot. I don't care who wrote it, but don't ever do this shit again.
At one point, you almost think it's kind of like the passing of the torch. Like, you think Alice is going to die, and she's kind of passing things along to Yvonne, but then she gets diced.
Which, guys, my biggest argument about this whole fucking stupid franchise of 4 and 5. Why'd you kill? You recast fucking Kristen, and then said, you know what? Let's make a new Dream Master.
Right. That's why I didn't like.
I hated that. Especially when I was a kid, I hated when they recast people in movies. And
I didn't mind the recast.
I hated that shit.
Tuesday night's fine. Like, I didn't mind it. I'm like, you already did it though. Why kill her?
Right.
You're not adding anything to it.
Just, the recasting always bugged the hell out of me in movies. It doesn't bother me so much now, but man, when I was a kid, I hated that shit.
Because it confused him more than anything.
Yeah.
Guys, I hate to do this. I just want to come on, say hi, and give my 2 cents. I got to hop off here. Dave, Chad, I'll see y'all in a little while. I hope I can come on again and actually stay a little longer next time. Thanks for
right, cool, brother.
Have a good show too, man. I know
Later,
you guys.
Be good, bro.
I guess we should hop on to part 5 for those.
Well, I do want to say one thing else that
Oh,
was
go ahead,
weird
go
though.
ahead.
Not to, but the fact that fucking Jacob can like just transform and turn himself into Freddy at the end of it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That shit kind of fucking flipped me out.
Yeah. That.
I mean, I guess.
Well, you
Maybe
think of the rebirth of the Antichrist. Freddy was poisoning him and to take him over like he was taking over Jesse in part 2. So now Freddy was probably about to be walking the earth through the baby at that point.
yeah, but it's still just goofy.
I didn't like Freddy's death in part 5.
He just fell into a mound of clothes. And
Well, I think
crawled away like a
didn't
baby.
Jacob throw up on him first?
Well, he shoots some kind of fucking thing out of his mouth or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's.
It just.
Yeah, listen, Jacob sucked. Not the kid. Not the actor.
He was
Good
dope
on
in
him.
Jurassic Park.
That wasn't him, was it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He was
really?
he was the kid that
He was,
Sam Neill
he was
with
the raptor kid. That's right.
Yeah.
All right. I thought you meant it was like, what's his name? I'm like, no, he wasn't.
No.
I'd recognize those guys anywhere.
That's awesome. For Meet the Robinsons.
Looks like the younger brother from Meet the Robinsons. Yeah, I just fuck this movie, man. I'm not even gonna bother.
Again, so this is the second movie in a row that they really screw up how Freddy dies. I just want to make that last point because the last one was him seeing his reflection. The movie before that one, he takes over a whole room of reflection and mirrors. So how can he die now by seeing himself? And then this one, that whole quick, again, everything was just not as thoughtfully thought out as the first 2 or 3 movies.
So let me ask this question for you, Sturt, if you're cool with this.
Of
so
course.
far, we're in the 5th movie of Nightmare on Elm Street. Freddy's deaths, or how they beat Freddy. Which one's the best one in your opinion so far? Because the first one is not the best one in my opinion.
Oh shit, that's a good question. What the hell is the second one? The kiss, right?
Yeah.
Yep, love.
The third one is mine.
I was.
What was the first one?
That was when she just dreamed him out of existence, and he didn't really actually go anywhere.
She took her power back, and that made him weak.
And it's gonna have to be 3.
Yeah.
After bringing him out into the real world.
It's gonna have to be 3 then.
Yeah.
So far, yeah. This was just, oh man, this was such a disappointment. Like the more we're talking, the more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm disappointing. I'm not gonna drop it lower than a 1 though. I won't do that with this movie. I don't think it deserves that. Excuse me, but
like I remember when I was a kid and I went to because the Dream Master had just come out on video and I just rented it and then went to the theater and the fucking poster for part 5 is up already. And I'm like, damn, because they crank them out every August, every year. They were just cranking them out too fast. And I get, again, it's a business, and that's when business and art clash.
Yeah.
Because from the art side of it, man, if you guys give us another like a year, maybe 2, we could cook something up a lot better. That's going to make us all a lot more money. But if we do it this way, it's going to be fucked.
And I agree with you, Dave. That's got to be the balance, right? Like where we say this is a business that needs to make money to put those things out. You also got to give that freedom to the filmmakers to tell the story. Like, and we're seeing it with Marvel now, where they have to, course correct their fuck ups, and DC. I mean, it's
hopefully
fucked up from the beginning, but and you see that throughout how many horror movies. Again, if they don't adapt, how quickly do they die? And then just be really bad because they keep pumping them out one after the other. So, and I think Saw did that for a while. It was just pumping them out
they were
like every year, and then they waited a little while, and now. But I think waiting that bit and then coming back and kind of retelling a story, that's your evolution. That's why I'm not mad at the Spirals or the Saw 10s. It's the 4, 5, 6, 7 right there in the middle of that block. That's like
the middle one.
You're the one's fucking it up.
Yeah, I get that. So, let's hop on the Friday the 13th part 5, A New Beginning.
I forgot we had another movie to do.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna start with this gentleman right here for his rating.
Another reason, just adding to the value and fire of why Freddy's so great. He's just a huge conversation piece. Friday Part 5, New Beginning, almost like a fresh watch for me, because I was watching it, I was like, Sturdy, like, I don't remember why were you guys like, and I kept my mouth shut. Why were you guys saying that Jason's not in this? I totally remember Jason. He's the guy. He kills people. I know the mask is in it. It's on the cover too. Like, and then by the end of it, it came, all flooding back and all. I was like, oh yeah, that's right. But as far as this one goes, shot well. I feel like this was when they started doing what Nightmare is in the stage of doing at this current point, where it's fallen off a bit. Interesting twist, yes. But to take away that it's not actually about the character himself, but it's about the idea of the character. But the campiness is still there. They fuck up with the Corey Feldman situation and the growth, and
Agreed.
The kid doesn't look like him. There's a lot of little things about this that start to go that way, and then we start to see, if you look at all these slasher films and everything, all the similarities between and the little things they do in imagery that are similar, like in Nightmare on Elm Street with the corridor scene. I brought up Halloween in the corridor scene from Part 6. Jason has a little bit of a vibe at certain times, and you get back to certain places with the barn and certain things that we've seen before in the past. So it's like back to beating a dead horse. Let's move past. We've already moved past type situation. And now from here on out, up until, and we'll talk about it later, we get to probably part 9 or 10 is when I start to reconnect again with Jason. This had lost me at this point. It's better now watching it at this point of age, and taking it in almost like it's a newer watch for me. And I said the same thing about Part 2 for Nightmare, where I hated that movie back in the day, but now watching it as an adult, I have more of an appreciation for it. I have a little bit more of an understanding, and I see the flaws now for what it is, but I still enjoy it more than I did prior. So this, again, I'm bringing it up from my normal notion of what this movie was. I'm going to end up giving this one a 7.
7.
Okay. All right. I like this movie more than Dream Child. Part 5 is, if you took Jason out of it, you took Friday the 13th out of it, and it just made it a slasher film. Like, you took the hockey mask and really Friday the 13th out of it, and you could keep the lore of, like, okay, this kid went through some killings, stuff like that, just to add the mystery. This is a good movie. This is a good horror movie. It's not bad at all. There's a lot of campiness to it for the 80s and what it was. It's a little sillier than what 4 was, but it's also not Jason, so I was forgiving that. I also remember when this came out, and everybody was talking about, oh, is he back? Is he back? And it was that whodunit mystery. Who could be behind the mask? Because Jason's clearly dead. If we didn't get this good horror movie with a bad, how do you say it? It's just sort of a bad choice in not including Jason in some way or reviving him in some way. It made 6 happen. And I can never be upset about that.
Good point.
So like so it's got a soft spot in my heart in a lot of ways. So for me, my ranking on this movie, I would put it out of 10, I'd put it at maybe a 6.
6, not bad. Not bad. But you two gentlemen.
When I was a kid, I hated it. I hated it for the same reason that I hated Halloween 3 Season of the Witch when I was a kid, because the killer wasn't in it. Now, going back and watch it all these years later with a fresh eyes as an adult, I appreciate it a lot more. Like, a lot more. It was good to see they went into a different direction. Let's really leave Jason dead. Because the final chapter with the false advertising, you might say. But let's try something different, and I can appreciate that a lot more now. I do wish Corey Feldman was in it. Like,
not his fault, by the way.
Like, probably everybody, not with the April O'Neil raincoat, but throughout the whole film. And there was, did this one have the most kills of any of them? It had to have been up there because there was a lot of kills.
There's a lot.
I think Jason Goes to Hell has the most on record.
Okay. This one can't be far behind. There was a lot of kills, a lot of good kills.
I think I heard there was like 26 or something.
And this one?
I think.
God damn. So that part of it's good.
I was shocked too.
But yeah, again, Chris, you and I should be pals because I agree. I don't want to repeat every.
Wait, we're not.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, like, I don't want to. I'm hesitating because I don't want to repeat everything you just said because everything you just said, I agree with, like, totally. I'm just sitting here nodding my head, like, yeah, like totally, yeah. I'm right there with you. As I got older, I've appreciated A New Beginning a lot more.
I'm right there too because as a kid, like you said, like the killer's not in it, so you're like, fuck it, like I'm out. But then the last few times I've watched this movie, like I kind of did what Mick was saying. I just kind of forgot about Jason, forgot it was part of the franchise. Fucking just watched it for what it is, and it's a good movie. Like there's a lot of crazy shit going on. You don't really get to see the like gore for the kills. It kind of cuts away a lot because they had a lower budget and we're just trying to get shit done. Yeah. But the fact that Corey had to go do Goonies was a bad timing for everything because at the beginning you're like, sweet, it's fucking Corey. We're going to get into this again. And then next thing you're like, wait, what the fuck just happened? Like, I don't know who this guy is, but this is weird. And then you find out that he's just pretty much crazy at this point from seeing all the crazy shit whenever he was younger, which is totally understandable. But my big gripe with this movie is since Jason really wasn't in it, but they kept giving you that sense that it was him because you see him do all kinds of crazy shit. Like he lifts the one chick up with one hand. He walks through a fucking wooden door. Like no human can do that shit.
Yeah, he did take a lot of damage.
That's my main gripe about the whole thing. And then he really gets his ass whooped at the end and he just keeps coming.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to get up and fucking climb a ladder once you get ran over by a bulldozer.
It's the hockey mask. It has power.
So I don't know. True. Like there's goods and bads to this movie, but overall, like taking it out of the franchise kind of thing, like just watching the movie for what it was, I like it.
What would you rate it?
Probably about a 6.5.
I was 6. 6 for me.
Solid 6 for you?
Mm-hmm.
And me. I always really enjoyed this one. Like, as a kid, I didn't realize Jason wasn't in it, especially as a little kid. And then once you find that out, it didn't bother me too much like Halloween did. Because at the very least, they had a copycat, so it was like a replacement. So say if Halloween 3, again, this is me watching as a kid, it wasn't Michael Myers, but it was similar to this, where it was like the copycat kind of deal for whatever reason. Cool, fun. But it still wasn't Jason. I did enjoy it, though. Like I said, like Mick said, like you guys both said, Dave and Chad, and Chris briefly said too, it's a good horror movie. It's a good horror movie. I'm gonna say this: it's way better than fucking Halloween Ends. This is the way to where you can get for a little break, a little nap Halloween. You know what I mean? Or
you had to go there. It was the best movie of last year, and you're seriously gonna go there now?
That's a lie. That's a cotton picking lie. And anyway,
where's Jason at to defend this?
But with that said, though, I'm gonna give this one. I'm gonna give this one an 8 because I did enjoy the movie. Again, I know Jason's not in it, but you have the premise of Jason, you have the dreams, and the reason why this movie is the way it is, and why Tommy's going the way he's going, is because of the whole Jason shit. Anyway, I do agree that Corey Feldman should have been in it though. The whole film, he should have been Tommy through this whole 4, 5, and 6.
But yeah, but I mean, I feel like that holding points against this movie because they couldn't get him back because Spielberg.
No, I'm not holding points against it because of that. I'm holding points because my points are because Jason's not in it.
I feel like a lot of people do hold it against him that Corey Feldman's not in it because I hear that a lot.
I don't, for sure. I don't. I don't. I did. Like, realistically, okay, do you want to do another Friday the 13th movie, or would you like to work with Steven Spielberg in this Hollywood blockbuster? I mean, like,
oh, of course, yeah, you have. I mean,
come on,
the Goonies. Right. You have to do that. You have to do that. I love me some Friday the 13th, but the Goonies, and they're just like, look. You mentioned the Goonies, and people around our age already know what the fuck you're talking about. You mentioned Friday the 13th Part 5. Not everybody around our age has seen that. Not as many people around our age has seen that, I'll say. But the Goonies, shit.
Yeah, can't fault him for that at all. I wouldn't. That didn't have an effect on my rating scale. I guess I was just saying.
Oh no, not you guys. Nice. I just meant in general. I hear a lot.
No, I get what you're saying in general, but it's, and I know
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things too where I do understand where they're coming from. So it's like I may not like it as much because of that. But George, how's it going? Yeah, Goonies. Hell yeah.
Yeah. See.
Did Mick give his rating?
Yeah, I gave it. Let's give it a 6.
He gave it a 6.
That's right. You're the first one.
But it's, I don't know, man.
I think it's still a good horror movie. Whereas if you take Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5, take Freddy out of it, you put a new killer in there, you can still have the dream stuff and things like that, or make it a parallel universe, whatever, however you want to do it. It still doesn't work. 4 works, but 5 doesn't, because it does feel like choppy in the story and things like that. And I just but I feel like Part 5 of Friday the 13th does work. You take Jason out of it, like I said, and change Friday the 13th to something else, and it works.
Yeah.
Now,
Chad, did you rate this one?
Yeah, I said 6.5.
Okay.
6.5. Yep.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, man.
You're good.
And you said a solid 6, right, Dave?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're all pretty much on the same page, I think, for the most part.
Because we're grown up now.
Yeah. I think that has a lot to do with it too. I really do. And I remember when I was a kid. You remember Friday the 13th, the series?
Yeah, great show.
Honestly, I didn't see that until my adulthood, and I'm glad I didn't see it until my adulthood, because had I seen it as a kid, I would have fucking hated it.
That's exactly what happened, because I remember going to school, and when those shows were coming out, all the kids were, but Jason's not in it. It's stupid.
Yes.
And,
I remember that too, yeah.
I mean, Freddy was only in a handful of the Nightmare series.
He did all the introductions, but he was in the very first episode. They did that prequel.
And that was it.
Where
Really,
where Robert Englund was in it, and you got to see his trial, and that whole thing, and then it turned into an anthology series, I guess, because they wanted to get Tales from the Crypt. I guess took off
that's what I was gonna say,
around at that point.
See, but and that I think that's where they dropped. Like, I gotta go through and watch that series, but I think that's where they kind of dropped the ball with the Nightmare on Elm Street series. Is if you leave Freddy in it, that's just gonna have fans just coming in and just loving it because of that thing right there. I think to this day it'd be tough. Actually, you could say with both series, I guess, but Friday the 13th does come out with their own or with another one. But you can almost say with both series that if it was a Friday the 13th, like what we know, and a Nightmare on Elm Street, like what we know, and they just did like a series off of it, I think they would have done a hell of a lot better. I can almost guarantee it, but I don't want to guarantee it. So I think, but I do feel they would have done a hell of a lot better.
Yeah, I think that was the plan originally. That's what Wes Craven and Robert Englund wanted to do and thought they were going to do. And then, like I said, I guess the studio just came in and was like, no, we're going this way.
Mick, did you have that thought you wanted to finish before I had interjected by mistake?
No, not really. It wasn't anything, All
right. I got something to tail off because you said about the kills. And to bring it back to the question, 19 kills in this one.
19.
Wow.
That plays into a role of some of the notion that I have with the pacing issue. I feel like this is when they tried to up it real quick, and it caused too many quick things, which was, like we said, the problem with the Nightmare series, where the kills are too fast with Freddy now at this point. Yes, there was more unique kills in this one, but that uniqueness also comes across to me watching it as them grabbing for any idea to now make the kills more interesting. It works for some of them, it's boring for some of the others, and then you add how quickly each person is coming up and getting killed. And even though it's a terrifying notion to think this guy's just running through people as quickly as he is, but when you're watching it, it doesn't telegraph or help present that same feel of terror that it did before. Watching the stalk, you know, the perspective shift, the execution, and then seeing the detail in the magic of the makeup and all that stuff with the effect.
Yeah,
that's why I feel like this is where I start to lose connection with the Jason character and all that, which it's kind of meant to be that way because it's not Jason, like we said. But this is also, to me, with these both these franchises, is what I mean about that kind of similarity there. Both of these franchises are at a point right now that the writers and the directors and everybody are just like, we got to do something. Let's try.
I feel like at that point, by the time we got to the 5th installments, the tension of each kill went away because I guess they just figured that at this point, audiences just want to see the kill.
Yeah,
They just want to see the creative kills.
You know what's funny about this conversation in this episode tonight and this whole fucking thing we're doing is just for the big three, right? Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th. Around part 4 and 5 is where it had like this huge change. And I say 4 and 5 because of Nightmare with 4 and Halloween with 4 and 5 with this kind of just this thing that they just tried. But well, ignoring part 3 of Halloween, because actually Halloween started with part 3, but they were going a different route as far as the anthology shit, so that's why I'm not including 3. But with like Friday the 13th part 5, there's no Jason. And then with 4 and 5 of Halloween, they fucking changed the story again after 1 and 2 because again ignored 3. Now Jamie Lee Curtis is a mother, but she's not in it. Like she's not in it for those two. And those two are like ones that I hear people don't really care for too much out of those. And then with Nightmare on Elm Street, it sounds like it's 4 and 5 as far as where we got from here. Especially, I'll say 5 especially. And then with Friday the 13th, people do have complaints about part 5 because Jason's not in it. That's their biggest complaint. And I'll say Corey Feldman not being in it. That's like their biggest complaint. And I mean, we'll get on to 6 when we get on to 6 because I don't know the Nightmare franchise so well. But shit, even with fucking Halloween with part 6, it was just completely different. And then they kind of went back to the whole shit again. I'm just like, ugh. It's weird with these franchises. Like, I wonder how they would do if. Oh man, I'm glad they didn't in a sense because I'm a huge fan of all.
You got to remember too, when they were doing this, there was no blueprint for sequels.
Right,
that's true.
We had movies that had sequels, but it was the horror genre that seriously ushered in what we know as sequels today. Because everything before was like just a continuation. We wanted to see these characters back. And again, there's nothing hidden about that. Magnificent Seven has like 5 movies, but the horror genre is really like what created almost like a franchise as we know it now.
That's true.
In a big way because they added so much to the sequels as they kept going. But there was no formula. I would think the only working formula that anybody had was Roger Corman's formula. Of like when it comes to making sequels and such. But so if your guy is getting tired and you start making money, but you won't want to quit the franchise because maybe it can come back, kill him off. Oh, wait, no, people love that movie. We got to bring it back, but he's dead. What are we going to do? So there was no formula. Like, people were it was like the Wild West trying to figure out in horror, like what works in these sequels. So we have so much now. I kind of wish it would course correct and we wouldn't do the things that we did back then. We don't see it as much, but it's still people are still very much into that.
The franchise. I mean, I'm into it. I'm not gonna freaking lie to you. I'm into that shit. Like me and the wife went to go see Saw X. We go see all those other movies and franchises when they come out as well. And I'm only using those for an example because we're talking franchises, but like the Insidious ones, we'll go back and see which ones we have to watch for that specific film and watch just that one. And then, you go see the movie in theater. So I do enjoy the aspect of franchises. And I do feel like overall, as far as storytelling, they've gotten a fuck ton better, as they should in times. But there is some times where they still do. You're like, this is just a fucking cat. I mean, at the end of the day, though, couldn't you call anything that comes out of Hollywood a cash grab? Because that's what they're trying to do. I know the whole saying, like, they just threw this money out for a cash grab, but it's like, what's the fucking first movie? They're not throwing that out hoping it fails and not grabbing any cash and grabbing eyes. And when it does, it grabs that attention. But I also understand the whole aspect of, this movie's so fucking popular, blah, blah, blah. Let's just throw this out. I guess it's more so like, let's just throw this out there, see what the fuck happens with it. If they love it, cool. If they don't, we're going to get cash because they fucking love this one so high up here.
That goes back again to art and business.
I was going to say, it comes down to art because the executives and the boards or whoever are there feel like they're so in tune with the art form of filmmaking and knowing what people want to see and what they'll actually buy that they go, yes, this can sell. Let's pick this one to be put out to the box office. But then we have to have the artists who will actually come to fruition in which they're funding to make that happen. But then at the end of the day, it comes down to the bottom line after you start getting to a certain point and they just want the result. So then that's where the disconnect comes in. You start out with the intent of the art form and the understanding of people and their psychology, and you end up just running with the notion of a bottom line and a profit. That's where shit goes awry and gets fucked up. And then you burn out your writers and everybody from doing these things. They run out of ideas. Hell, I probably could not make a 1 and a 2, let alone a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You know what I mean?
You'd be very surprised, dude. It's very easy to make sequels and get lost in them.
Not to cut you off, though, Chris,
right? That's what I'm saying. I couldn't do it.
For these franchises that we're discussing, though, a lot of times the teams change, like the writers, the directors, and all that shit.
And that's the other problem.
Changes a lot of the direction, which is kind of, I mean, I guess it's good and bad in some senses. I feel like with these, I guess with franchises, it would be good if you have like maybe the main people in the crew. I don't know how the film industry, I don't know but and then if you grab a few more people, throw in some more ideas that you rotate out every now and or whatever the case may be. But you have like the main brainchild still there, so the story's still kind of coherent or whatever, but you still get those fresh ideas of whatever that story is going to turn into.
But to that, I say, let's stick to the notion of artistry, right? Let's stick to the notion of the music industry, film, movie, or literally artwork, right? It's left up to the interpretation of the person who's doing it. But at the same time, you're not going to go and say, well, that's great, Picasso. You're done. Here comes Jose to start making the same art you make under your name, and we're going to put it out. You don't go, hey, 50 Cent, get out of the way. Here comes Little Baby. You're going to make the name of 50 Cent. You're going to make rap songs and we're going to put it out as 50 Cent. You don't do that. So you got to allow the people to, again, they see it. They're so passionate about it. This is their child. They've been with it for so long. They've expanded and evolved it so long that now you want to rip them away from it and you expect the same ingredients to be what's giving the final product. It doesn't work like that. You can't take my kid away from me, expect somebody else to nourish them the same way I would. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. We could try.
You could try. Somebody might have more resources and be able to provide better than I can, but they're not going to give the nourishment and that warmth the same way I can. It's going to be different regardless, whether they can provide more to the child financially, but they're not going to. That heartbeat, that feeling of that love, that connection, and that passion is completely different. You can still do a great job. And we can talk about the notion of like being a stepfather or an uncle. It's not your child and you still give it love, but it's still not the same exact love of what the dad would have done or the mom would have done. You know what I mean? Not 100% the same. It's just a different form of it, but still, it's not exactly the same. That kid ends up growing up yearning and wants to know, who was my father? Why wasn't my father in the life? You know
maybe the dream child should just stay lost.
Exactly. I don't blame you.
Just saying.
Right out there like that. The fucking dream child, man.
That's the only one. I'm fine with everybody else.
I got you. No, but F-13, it was a little bit better than I remembered. I just didn't agree with certain things, and I'm hoping now, thinking of what 6 is going to be, and I said it earlier, I was like, I want to hop right into 6 now so I can see what's up, because I know 7's going to get, I remember 7, I'm pretty sure. I remember 8, I'm pretty sure. And then obviously where 9 goes with Jason Goes to Hell, and then we get Jason 10X. So right now is the pivotal point, like I said, where transition and disconnect occurred for me, and I'm hoping to regain it now after watching 6, 7, and 8 with this new lens of the criticalness that I'm giving it, the understanding and interpretation, and then evaluation that I'm truly giving it in the aspects that I can as a film, the character, the development, and the notion of the versus, the battle, the competition between these two entities.
Chris, you used way too many big words for me.
No, and I don't know what they mean, so I'm going to take them as insults.
I just assume. I listen for my name.
I love it, man.
Nick is great.
Bullshit. Don't tell me what I don't know.
Wesley, I'm scared of you. You have a glove.
There you go. Dave has a glove.
Oh my god. I'm fucking dying over here. Crazy, man. All right,
man. We're going through these though. We're finishing up with part 5, people, and part 6 is gonna be Thursday at 8 o'clock Eastern time. Probably maybe a little late. We'll see what happens.
It's of course gonna be a little late. The last 5 episodes have been late.
Listen, I'm always doing something right before the show, so I gotta, you guys know how I like to prepare for my show, and I had to prepare. And drop a TikTok.
I love it. You're on TikTok, you said?
No, I said and drop one for Sturdoween. Had to drop that.
That's
shit.
right.
which actually I believe you were the one, which people go check out my TikTok when this episode's over, that told me about this film. I believe, as far as the film title in that one. So gentlemen, to finish this episode off, why don't you tell people where they can find you? And I will start with you, Chris. Let people know where they can find you.
I am the worst damn gamer ever, everywhere. You just misspell ever at the end because, inner city schools have failed me. So you can find me on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. I'm on all the platforms. I stream quite often now during the days. My Mother Fortnite Friday happens every Friday night. You catch me here every Tuesday and Thursdays with Sir Sturdy. And then on Saturday night with the Popcorn and Pints guys. And lately I've been joining my guy, Mr. Mick Manhattan, over on the Scene Snobs at Mick at Night on Friday nights as well. So if y'all want to see more great conversation, you want to have me use weird words and long things that confuse people on gummies, then come watch.
There you go.
Oh, and don't forget, Motivational Mondays happens every Monday, whether I do it during the morning or I do it during the afternoon. It's important you guys go check it out. Go check out yesterday's. I got a little emotional myself, so I'm hoping to help somebody. And if it doesn't, at least I'll get to watch it. And I think I helped myself yesterday, so it's kind of cool. So I appreciate everybody. Spread the love, spread the positivity. Don't forget to support the Scene Snobs and to GoFundMe for All for Lunch and Lunch for All. We're helping feeding kids get lunches throughout their days. We're still collecting to the end of the month. So thank you again, and it was a great thing, and that's why my head is bald, because it's all for charity, and I'm also donating my hair, so go check him out.
There you go. Dave, how about you, man? Where can we find you at?
All right. Hey, you can find us on YouTube at Video Store Clerks, as I'm a co-host of the Video Store Clerks podcast, which will be going on not too long after your show, Sturdy. We'll be going on live at 10 p.m. every Tuesday night. And we're continuing our Halloween extravaganza. Tonight we'll be talking about Hatchet.
Nice.
Kane Hodder, Robert Englund, Tony Todd. Great horror movie, fun horror movie. I'm really looking forward to this one.
Sweet.
So hey, if you're around right now, you want to stick around for some more good conversation about some of our favorite horror movies. Check us out. And Chuck Nasty, that you saw here for a minute earlier. Make sure you check him out. He has several podcasts, including Graveyard Talk.
Yes, sir.
Give him check him out on Facebook. He also has a band, 2-man metal band, Bastard Sons of a Judas Goat. If you're into that heavy stuff, man, hey, even if you're into rock, check him out. He's on Facebook. Nice. In fact, if you want to go to our YouTube channel page after you subscribe,
there you go.
Check out all that information on the description of our videos. Last week we did Basket Case. Like I said, tonight we're doing Hatchet. So really looking forward to it. Hey, stop by.
Nice.
There you go. Mr. Manhattan.
What's up, everybody? I do nothing of substance, and you should not know me at all.
He's good, though.
Good point.
Go check out the Scene Snobs. Make sure you're subscribing here. You like the video here, and then go check out all of our channels, all of our shows. Yes. And then subscribe if you want to and you want to hang out, which of course you're gonna, because it's awesome and amazing. We're great.
Hell yeah.
Yes. And of course, check out Horror with Sir Sturdy, depending on where you're watching this from. Yeah, just check it out, man. We all of us, we do this because we love it. We do it because we love it. Check out Popcorn and Pints, and check out the 3 Geeks podcast. Shout out to Jay. He's not here for a reason, but he started growing hair. He doesn't know how to handle it, so it's kind of bothering him and stressing him out. So hopefully he'll be back Thursday. By then he'll probably have cut it. But
he started growing it 4 years ago to shave it for the last event. And it hasn't worked out yet.
Yes.
But we're working.
He has like 3-4 hairs. You know the little Homer Simpson, how it goes up and does that little thing like that?
He pulls off bald. He pulls it off well. I'll give him that.
He does.
He does.
He deserves that credit.
He does. But yeah, go check out his podcast as well. All of our links are in the descriptions. This shit is fucking fun, people. I'm telling you, this shit is fucking fun, and I greatly appreciate each and every single one of you that not only come on this show, but also are down here in the comments and watching the show. Even if you're just lurking, I appreciate that as well. But dive in the comments too. Don't be shy. This is a fun horror conversation. It's a very friendly show, and
better than a blowjob.
I wouldn't say that. This is a dope show, but
clearly your blowjobs are way better than mine.
Whoa. I didn't know you were taking it that route. That is not what the fuck I'm saying. That's some wild shit. That's some wild shit. Jayhan was good. Appreciate you coming in, man.
What's
greatly,
up, brother?
greatly appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
And hey, real quick, can I
Oh,
say
no.
one more thing about our boy Chuck Nasty?
Of course.
He is also an author. He has several hardcore horror novels out that you can also find. Again, check him out on Facebook. You can get all the links. All the links are also in the description of our videos in case you can't find that. Hey, give him a try. It's different. If you're tired of the PG-13 horror novels that are out today, give Chuck Nasty's novels a try. I'm telling you, it's good stuff for real.
Listen to him. Listen to him, guys.
That's awesome.
Listen to him. And see all this appreciation and love we show for
He
one
never
another,
sleeps. He
friends
never
and all
sleeps.
this. That's what they say about me, but I sleep.
I think it's
Chuck
because of
doesn't.
Freddy, but you know.
Chuck doesn't do stuff.
I'm watching you, Sturdy.
I love it.
Holy shit. But we're gonna get on out of here, everybody. Have an amazing night. Thank you guys all for coming on. Make sure you go check out the Scene Snobs. I was on the podcast right before this. And again, go check out Worst Damn Gamer. Go check out Video Store Clerks. Go check out Chuck everywhere because he's all over the goddamn place. And
Everywhere.
listen, I'll see you in your nightmares. Peace.
Nice. Love it.
Oh, and go check out Two Girls, One Cup. Forgot to say that.